You're listening to Prosperity Report, Love and Money Podcast, the relationship podcast that helps you feel more confident financially and romantically. We do this by giving you actionable ideas to help you stop comparing and start repairing your mindset, your money, your relationship, and your life. I'm your host, Kanae Corder, best-selling author, international speaker, hypnotherapist, and financial therapist. Let's grow with the flow together. Enjoy the show. This episode is brought to you by my free Money Mentality course. Learn your money personality and how you can reach your full financial potential. Have you ever heard messages like, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford it, or money can't buy happiness? Neither can poverty, but there's no quote about that, right? Society has imprinted messages in your brain and they're affecting you and how you handle money. Maybe you're a spender, maybe you're a saver, or maybe you're a hero, saving all the people around you with your money. You can find out by taking the free Money Mentality course. This free course will help you determine how to stop the negative behavior you have with money, how to continue doing the positive things that are working for you, and how to start doing new things, new behavior that will help you reach your full potential. You'll gain clarity, connection, and a community of achievers just like you. Thousands of people have already taken this course. Join us so you can learn your money mentality. It will be the easiest, most informative course you have ever taken. It's free, so the only investment is an investment of your time, which I know how valuable your time is. So I've made the course impactful, full of value, so you can get back more than you put in. And there's a free gift at the end. So go, check it out, and start reaching your full potential today. Go to kanaecorder.com/money-course. It's a small investment to make a big impact on your life. Again, that's kanaecorder.com/money-course. Take the Money Mentality course, gain clarity, connection, and a community. Go to kanaecorder.com/money-course. I'll see you there. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I have a good friend here with me and we are going to talk about confidence from within. We are going to reveal our beauty, not apply our beauty. So I have Kim Roxie from LAMIK Beauty here with me, and Kim and I have been friends for a couple years. We share a lot of the same values, interests, but most importantly, this idea that women are beautiful on the inside and sometimes don't know it. Kim has a cosmetic line called LAMIK Beauty, and she knows all about what women need as well as what they want. So we're going to talk to her today. Please join me in welcoming our guest today, Kim Roxie. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kanae.
I am so glad to be here with you today. So we are in person. Usually I do this over the internet.
I flew all the way here to be in person with you. Don't make it seem like, oh, she was just around the corner. She came up to my office. Oh, she just came over. No, I flew in at 6:00 this morning. That meant that I had to be at the airport 2 hours ahead of time. So 4:00 this morning to come and be here with you. So
that's right.
If I sound a little sleepy, I am. Actually, I am. I'm sleepy as heck right now. No, but I flew in town just to be with Kanae on her show.
I love it. Because that's what we do. Women supporting women. Kim, what is your idea of prosperity?
What is my idea of prosperity? Well, I think that your face kind of shows up when I think about prosperity now. Because, you know, you're sort of a face of that. So if you look in a dictionary or Google, you probably have an image that comes up under prosperity. So
I love it.
Your little head pops up in my head, in my head when I think of prosperity. Also, another face that pops up in my head is I call him my spiritual coach, but my pastor, his face pops up in my head. I like the term prosperity. It just seems like a surplus to me of something in abundance. And sometimes they can be negative or positive.
Yeah, that's true. And I like that word though. And I don't hear it much. Surplus. Yeah. That's a good word. And it's true. Sometimes it could be negative or positive. It could be a negative or positive.
You're prospering in. They're fill in the blank.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I think that sort of puts it there. But for me, on a positive level, your face shows up. My pastor's face shows up. My husband's face shows up in my head because it always sort of reminding us of all the different places where our prosperity sort of almost look at like an oil well or something that's just sort of sprouting up. It's like coming up, it's booming.
Yeah.
Because I kind of learned along my journey that I would have like things that people would pay for. I would have, and I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And so I was, I'm living a life of prosperity,
yes.
But I didn't have to have the invoice to go with it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
The resources were there, what have you. And so I think that, sometimes if you go and do a little inventory in your life, you'll realize that you do.
That's a great point too. And what you didn't say that I know about your life is that generosity is a big part of your idea of prosperity. Yeah. You give a lot of time and energy and money to organizations and I've just seen you be probably number one. Like when you said my face comes up when you think of prosperity, your face comes up when I think of generosity or that volunteering or like being there. And when I say volunteer, I'm not talking about you go and, help feeding the hungry. Like you are doing work on levels that build the company up. So I've seen you do that. And to me, that's a big part of your prosperity. The reason why you have been prosperous is that generous heart of yours.
Well, I appreciate that. Sometimes I notice when I talk to people about that, not about what I've been doing, but just about doing some things, I think sometimes we think that we have to get to a certain level and then we can start doing these kind of things. So some of the things that I do, again, I must be quite frank because maybe somebody is listening to this who might be aware of anything I've done before. And a lot of times, sometimes I have to ask, God for myself, like, why would you let me be able to, just like last night, the thing I did, and why would you be able to let me be able to do that where people didn't have to pay, have this, and it was based on a relationship and all that. So it got me looking like a millionaire all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It has me looking in that, and I get that framework. Sometimes I'm kind of like, should I tell everybody here? You kind of get imposter syndrome. Should I tell everybody here that like this was,
like y'all need to know.
Yeah. And because, they leave like
based on relationships.
Yeah, they leave like Kim Roxie is the, like I gotta be her friend, like, and so it's like, y'all, like I'm trying to tell y'all the secret, right? I'm trying to tell y'all. And so I'm a witness to this. You do not have to wait till you get to a certain income bracket or paying a certain amount of taxes before, you do things that prosperous people do, that live in a prosperous type of lifestyle. So to the point, I think that the generosity part and it reminds me that I am prosperous because I'm not bankrupt afterwards.
Right. And you have relationship currency, which not a lot of people have. Like they may have the money, but they haven't built up the relationships on the way up. Yeah. So they don't have that.
Yeah. And it can cost you a lot.
Yes. Actually. I was just about to say that. Yeah. And then they can't do some of the things that you do because they haven't built those relationships. So they have to spend more money to get what you were able to put together. So true. So that kind of like has me move to, because where you volunteer a lot or where you build a lot is in the woman space. Yeah. Like you're there for women, not just with the product that you sell, but with just time, energy, all, cancer, events, all kinds of things. So tell me a little bit about how women became your focus.
Yeah, they became my focus when I was in college. Clark Atlanta University. I needed a job. I went to the mall and applied for a job. My friend told me they was hired at the makeup counter, makeup store, whatever. And I was like, when have you ever seen me do makeup? Let's talk about that first. It's like, well, they say they're hiring. If you want a job, you better go, and you like at the mall, like everybody has. And I was like 19 at the time. I was like a sophomore and in college. And so I just went and applied, and I had worked at a telemarketing place before. So I had a little sales, a little sales thing going on. So, they're like, yeah, we hire you. You can sell, but I connected with women. So I don't just sell people stuff and go, oh, I sold her. That's not really how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I sell you something and you buying it actually lets me know that we made a connection.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't shy away from you buying it because if you don't buy, it doesn't always mean that we didn't make a connection. Sometimes it could be for so many different reasons why you didn't buy it. But at least if we made a connection, you're going to come back.
Exactly.
Like, you're gonna come back
that's a true connection.
Yeah,
I know
like you didn't get it today, but you're going to come on back, So I started that way, and I actually was working for a small business, and then I went on and worked at Sephora for a little while.
Oh, okay.
But really working at that small business was a nice feel for me because, again, I was able to connect with women that look like me. I'm from Houston, and Houston is the most diverse city in the country, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the most diverse city in the country. And we're making a lot of progress. However, there's still, a lot of stuff you deal with, growing up when I was there, definitely identify that you're black and it's white. And, you understand that. But coming here to Atlanta, I seen so many black faces and I was just like, oh, I love this place. So that's how I knew I had a connection with women because I was a top salesperson, had no experience and sold more than a manager, everybody.
Yeah.
And so that's how I knew, and really me making top sales again, didn't really prove that I was you're a salesperson. It proved that I was making a connection with these women and I would take extra hours on the job. I'd be happy to be there. I used to get dressed up to go to work. I mean, I put on my flyers clothes so me and the ladies could talk about it and talk about what they got on. I just had fun making them feel good. And then I think they also exposed me to professional jobs. They, exposed me to their lifestyles and things like that with things they did. Never went by as a makeup artist. I never had that claim to fame. But I could, show them the best makeup for their face and they would be happy. So that's kind of how I knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell our story sometimes, when we're together. So I can attest to that sale. For me, the sale is the connection as well, but from the buyer side. So I'm like, this woman knows I support her business because I support her business. Not because I'm just like, I'm there at every event, but I'm actually buying her product. Right. So you remember when we first met, it was an event and the person who told me about the event wasn't even there. But I was like, no, this is a woman doing her thing. I gotta be at her event. So I was there. And then you did my makeup that day. And if you remember, I was trying to tell you like, well, I don't like this and I don't like that. And you were like, we can talk about anything else, but I'm going to do the makeup. This is a woman after my own heart. That's confidence.
Right. I know we said at the same time. Lead in on what the show is.
Right. You can tell people, I got you.
Yeah.
When you're confident in what you do. And by the time I met you, you've been doing this for many years.
Yeah.
So of course you were definitely confident, but it sounds like that confidence built just by the relationships. You enjoyed it so much. You had the relationships built. Like that was easy for you. And then you were great at the sales. You found that you were great at the sales. And then you learned about makeup. It was like, all right, now I have this other skill to go along with my relationship building skill, to go along with my sales skill, and I can use it to help people. So let's talk about the confidence to even be able to say to me, I got you. Yeah. Don't worry. And it was true. When we were done, that was the best.
I know.
Yeah, I loved it.
Picture. We had fun.
We did.
And how long ago was that?
Yeah, that had to be like 4 or 5
years ago. So, yeah. So let's put that in framework of time.
5 years.
Yeah, let's put that in framework of time. I was still only like 30 years old then. 31, something like that.
Yep. And that's a good point too.
Yeah. So let's put it also in perspective in regards to some of this. It has a lot to do with the environment that we're in. I felt like my parents did a really good job at building my confidence by having me in piano. Where I had to practice and I had recitals and you got judged and it was like competition, it was competitive. I think competition helps your confidence. I mean, you got to practice, you got to work, this and that. Healthy competition is great. I think that helps build your confidence. I think my parents did a good job at that. But then when I got to the point to where the place then started to try to shake my confidence, I got kicked out of high school. And so you're talking to a person that, again, was getting trophies in piano, and I was a varsity cheerleader. I was the accompanist to the choir at our school. I was the keyboard player for the jazz band and got kicked out of school.
Okay.
So very confident if I'm participating in all these things, right? I even have a tattoo when I was 16 that says talented star. I got kicked out of high school, tried to shake my confidence, shook my confidence. And so I came to a place like Atlanta. I think sometimes, you have to incubate somewhere where it sort of, feeds and kind of gives you some nutrition, and helps you out, especially, when you think about, we're like at mental health risk around the ages of like 18 to 25 or something like that.
Absolutely.
Our college years. So you need to be in a place where you can really incubate, in a good environment. And for everybody, that's something different.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like I need to be in Atlanta, but it was something God had me to get me here, right?
Yep.
So I just feel like God was got me here, and that's where I landed, and this is what I needed, and the independence of it all and all of that. But when I was there with the women, learning from them while I was working at this makeup counter, I'll tell you this, if you kind of think people can identify with this, when I transitioned from graduating from college and then deciding that I was going to start this makeup line, this clean, non-toxic makeup line for women of color, women that I had been used to dealing with, I was 21. So if you incubate in a place, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter any of that. You can be sure of yourself. All confidence is being firm about something.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just, in my head, because I seen it around me, I saw entrepreneurs that looked like me around me, all of that here in Atlanta. So I was sure that I could do that too. And I could do it in Houston, where it's a big city and a lot of people that look like me that are not getting serviced properly in the beauty industry. So I was like, I can go there. I can open up a store. And I mean, that's what I did. I just went and, so that sort of confidence, and then realizing that when you open up that gate, nobody walked in. So I had to go get customers from the food court. I was inside of a mall. I go get customers from the food court to walk them down to my store. I had to be sure of what I was going, where I was going to go get them and bring them down to my store and sure they were going to like it. I think people feed off of your energy. I mean, if you act like, there's some all right stuff, then that's what it is. When you like, girl, I'm telling you, as soon as I get you down here, you have a long day at work. Oh my goodness, this going to make me feel so much better. Like, when you feel like you're going to give that to that person is open to receive it. And then when they get it, they like, this about match up with what you said, you know, and they can accept it, you know, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I think it has a lot to do with it, and you kind of set that stage for that. And so, being confident young, and it's some things as you get older, I think that you actually, people think that confidence is a young thing. I think confidence is a challenge or older thing.
See, that's exactly, we just gel so well. That's exactly where I was about to go. Because some of what you said sounds like youth. Like, you know how a kid is like, I'm going to be an astronaut. And then you just can't even tell them like how difficult it is. They don't even want to know. They're just like, whatever, lady, I'm going to be an astronaut, right? So some of what you said, it was like, oh, I got this youthful belief in myself, and I haven't, faith,
young faith,
and I haven't been chipped away at enough, right? Mm-hmm. So early on, you have been chipped away at, because that's sort of my philosophy in confidence, is that we're all born confident, and then society chips away and chips away and chips away at it, right? And life experience. So that happened to you, but then it got put back in when you put yourself in a position, which I will point that out. You put yourself in a position, or God put you in a position to be opened up, to get that confidence back. Then once you got it back, you're like, okay, I know exactly what to do with it. And you used it. You didn't like sit on it. Now, I will say you are the quintessential extrovert. You can walk into any room. So some of this
I'm trying not to curse because I ain't got nothing to lose. Okay. S-H-I-T. Yeah, I don't have anything to lose.
Yes. That is Kim Roxie to me. Like that can walk in any room, talk to any woman, like, that's your best friend. Yeah. Well, really that you're her best friend. Yeah. That's what really comes out. But where we were going with that is so that youth, you can get confident from your youth. Yeah. But it's something about wisdom and, you know, growing older and having experience that can also bring confidence.
And be a barrier to it.
Yeah. And people are using, sometimes instead of using it as confidence, they're using it as an excuse. Well, I've once failed. I had a business and it failed. So I ain't gonna do that no more. No, use that as fuel. Like, I know what not to do now. So talk to me about that. As you grow older, you don't lose that youthful confidence, but you also pull in the wisdom confidence. How have you been able to like use that to your benefit?
Well, over the past, I would have to say at least 6 months, I've had a really challenging time about being sure about some things. And so when you talk about, what confidence means, being firm, being bold, being sure, all of this here. And another word that comes up is your faith. And I've had to weigh heavy on my faith because those other words just seem too daunting to sort of accept sometimes, because they sort of mean that I'm abandoning all of the risks that I'm looking at. Because as your as your audience grows larger, see, this is the other thing. It's different when you got 5 people in the room watching your performance. I've been in business for, this year, at the end of this year, I'll make 15 years. And so let's just say 14 years. I've grown an audience. Yeah. You have an audience full of people now. I'm just saying, if you were just looking at like an auditorium, or at this point, it would be a stadium, right? Full of people that you touch and and this and that. Like I went to an event today, and like, the woman sitting next to me, I tell her, I say, oh yeah, they asked me what kind of business I would LAMIK. She said, oh my goodness. And like she tells me her story. But the point is that the audience grows because you have been doing a certain performance, or you have, been talented in a certain area, or what have you, or whatever it is. You start to kind of mold or want to stay safe inside of that place that gives you the applause. And because you've grown confident to do that performance. Yep. But what about the change? What about the different scenes that come up in life? We'll equate scenes to seasons. And so when different seasons come up in your life, the different scene comes up. You can't do that same performance. That's not what is in the scene, And it's like, oh, well, they clap your confidence. Now you're back at square one, right? So now you got to build back. You're like, okay, you got to be back all over again. It's like the same thing. And so I think that some of us are trapped in situations where we're actually, captive to this same performance that we've been doing. And we're scared to change and not confident about changing. And so over the past 6 months, I have went under a major, if you want to call it a makeover, you can call it a makeover, right? A transformation, a shifting in mindset, being uncomfortable. I didn't even know I was comfortable until you don't know you were comfortable until you're uncomfortable.
Yes. Yep.
You don't know it. Yeah. You're comfortable. You really don't know it. You're doing the same, something working, you just do it. Yeah. Until you get uncomfortable, you're like, I was comfortable. Not saying that you didn't take it, you weren't bold about anything, this and that, but everybody must be very honest with their own selves. As you get older, I observed women, and I remember telling women when I was in my 20s, when y'all get 40, y'all just overthink too much. I just tell my customers that. That's so funny. That's why I think I have a lot of customers who are older than me. Because I would just tell them, like I would talk to you. Yes. Just like tell them the truth. And I still do. I mean, I'm just like, I can even be quite frank with people. Nothing to hurt anybody's feelings, but just like certain things, like, I'm like, y'all think too much. Cause they would think about something and they'll talk about it and they come back, cause I kind of see people on a regular basis sometimes. They come back to be the same thing. They still think. I'm like, you're still thinking about that? Yeah. You haven't done it yet, And so actually I'm giving myself that same coaching now. Kim, you still thinking about that? You hadn't done that? Your audience gets bigger. It's too many people to fail in front of now. Everybody sees you fall at the same time. When the same people were clapping for you. That's sort of
right. And then their expectations that you stay comfortable. Yeah.
Stay right there in it.
That's a big point. That's something that I work with. I mostly work with women on this. I have a lot of male clients or patients, but women are who deal with this particular situation. And it seems like women have a hard time transitioning out of relationships that need to pass. Because you talked about failing in front of a new audience or a bigger audience, but sometimes your audience is shifting. And so you started this business 15 years ago. Customers that you got 15 years ago might not be the same clientele that you need in this new season of the business. And when you see those numbers go away, all you see is unsubscribe or whatever, delete. And it's like, well, where are my people going? But maybe the people are going out to make room for new people. But we use that as a means to judge ourselves by. Instead of saying, oh, great, thanks, universe, or thanks, God, for creating that space for these new customers that I said I wanted. Because it's some prayer that you're putting out, is some manifestation that you're putting out why these other people are leaving. And then universe is listening, answering you. Meanwhile, you're like, but wait, I don't want to let go. You got to have the confidence to move on. And that's whether you have a business, but also whether you have a job. I speak in corporations sometimes. When I speak to these managers and they still want the people they used to be cohorts with, they want them to be friends. I'm like, you're not their friend anymore. You're their manager. That's a different role. And sure, you can say hello and be cordial, but you change roles now. You can't toggle between those two. You got to be sure that you're a manager, that you're a supervisor, which means you might lose some of that love or that audience that you used to have. But that goes into reinventing yourself. So, you know, I wrote the book, The Art of Starting Over.
Yes.
So I'm a big advocate about starting over. But let's talk about starting over, because it sounds like out for 15 years, you don't have the same business you had. You were in a mall, then you were grabbing women out the food court, bringing them into the store, so that now you don't have to grab women out the food court to bring them into the store. Then you opened a store, and then you transition to another type of business. So let's talk about those transitions and the confidence you have to do that, to reinvent yourself, whether you own your own business or you just like, I decide I'm going to start wearing makeup. Because how many people have said, me included, I don't wear makeup. And you're like, you got on lipstick right now.
Yeah.
You sure you don't wear makeup?
Yeah, you got on eyeliner. I'm looking at eyeliner.
So, you know, those titles that we give ourselves, we sometimes have to reinvent ourselves. Let's talk about
definitely,
that.
Definitely. And take a new perspective towards things too. And take a new outlook. Because a lot of times I want women or encourage women to have LAMIK, not just for the role that is going to enhance your face and help you be more confident in a lot of ways, but it's also helping you be more confident from the inside, because LAMIK actually stands for love and makeup and kindness. And so when you know the title of that, you're like, oh, and then the motto is beauty is revealed, not applied. You're like, oh, it's something inside of me that's attracting people to me. And so when you start to think of it like that, to remind them of those things, you go through it. When you look at LAMIK, you know it means love and makeup and kindness. Beauty is revealed, not applied. It's something coming out of me. And that helps you on a rough day. It's something coming out of me. On a broke day, it's something coming out of me, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that motivation. And if you look on our website, you'll see that we do a lot of statistics around women of color, because that's our target demographic. And even though other women can wear our products, and believe me, my white adopted mother has my stuff. So, you know, anyone can really wear it, but those are the women that I'm geared towards, because these are the women that's getting left out of the clean makeup space. Right. I have so many statistics on the power of these women. The whole point is I'm trying to remind you of who you are. And that's a part of our beauty reveal. That's what I'm supposed, as a brand, that's what we're supposed to do for you. We're supposed to get you so confident and so bold and so firm and so sure that you go out and accomplish all the things that you want to accomplish. And hit your goals. So that's like, to me, that's the true, you know, like what makeup is supposed to do for your life. It's not supposed to cover you up, and when you take it off, you feel bad. And, you know, they don't know what I really look like. And no, it's not supposed to give you all that sorrow.
Yes, right? That's a great point.
Yeah, it's supposed to more so pump you up, get you confident, put your makeup on, girl, have it, let's go. And especially in your own way of putting it on, that it does for you.
Yeah. Your tagline is beauty is revealed, not applied. Your niche industry is clean makeup, not just makeup. There's some places where women can end up not being confident, and they're wearing makeup to give themselves confidence, but then the makeup is taken away from their confidence. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that sounds really complex, what you just said. I'm going to be honest with you. If I was listening, I'd be like, wait. Say that one more time. No, but that was worth rewinding.
Yes.
Okay. It's complex, though. It's complex because you're talking about, let's just use me for example. Hey, you know, darker skinned woman, we don't have a foundation, or we don't have lipstick that shows up on your lips, or we don't sell a brow powder that matches your brow hair colors. Yeah, we don't have that. And most companies, you know, with your makeup that meant you were beautiful, like, you know, you sort of had this connotation. And then you had confidence because remember, you're beautiful. Everybody's looking at you and admiring you. And you're sure of yourself, right? But then what about if you go to the makeup counter, they don't have anything for you. You leave without the beauty.
Yeah.
So my beauty's gone and my confidence is gone.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to get at.
So that's kind of heavy because what happens is you leave and even though you try to brush it off, like, you know, oh, they don't sell, I ain't gonna worry about it. But then I start saying, then that's the reason why I didn't grow up as a makeup person. So then for me, it was, you know, oh, well, I don't wear makeup, but I could be into it probably, but it's not giving me the freedom to be into it. And I don't want to be with people that don't want to be with me, right? It's like, it's like, if they don't like you, baby, they just don't like you,
Right.
So you start to go there. And even right now, for me growing up, it was like that. But don't get me wrong. And I don't mind saying it. We had brands that paid homage to our skin tones, like Fashion Fair. But because it was so mature to me, it was more of my mom's brand and her makeup.
That's so true.
Very full coverage, all of that. But they made the way. They paved the way,
they did.
in a lot of ways. And there were some other brands around them too at the time. But now looking at that, you say, okay, I am a woman who is more health conscious. Mintel just put out a report, which is a big data research company, saying that 64% of women of color prefer to buy natural beauty products because they've learned about the effects. They have experienced the effects of toxic beauty products, as well as they've seen the research, and they're educated women, so they don't want it. Where white women, more so 45% prefer to buy natural products, which to some people could be surprising.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we get this image as if we just don't even care about it.
We don't care.
And we actually care a whole lot more than other women do. We're actually leading that.
Wow.
So that's the woman I'm used to, actually.
Yeah.
That's my customer. It's you. You're my customer. You've been a great supporter and customer of LAMIK. But that's my customer. That's what she wants. She actually does. She actually prefers natural. When I say it's natural makeup, it rings to her. When I say that we don't use certain ingredients, she's actually aware of some of these ingredients. And she's like, oh, yeah, she's a scientist. She's a lawyer. She's a doctor. She's aware. She knows what's going on. She's an educated woman. She knows. And so I think that, the industry is sort of going to get left behind because this woman buys 80% more cosmetics.
Wow.
Okay. And 40% more skincare than her counterpart. She spends 9 times as much on beauty products. She is the consumer. That's the one.
Yes.
Go after her. But you're saying, oh, it's so hard to make her foundation. We're trying.
Right.
And multi-million-dollar budgets, and they're trying.
Wow.
Where we're over here, an indie brand, doing it.
That is so awesome.
So now I feel like I need to take up an offering. So give to our fundraising campaign.
Exactly. So we can get the $1 billion research.
Exactly.
That really needs to happen.
Exactly.
Yes. You talked about a lot there. So that does affect your confidence in the sense that there's something that you need that they're not even creating for you. And because you talk about makeup enhancing or revealing your true beauty, if you don't feel beautiful inside, or if you don't feel like you have what the world wants to see, you already one step.
Yeah, you didn't even consider yourself beautiful or what have you, but it did serve us well. I'm going to tell you the flip side to that. It did serve us well in regards to, because then we got focused on other things.
Okay.
See, sometimes if you're not considered the most beautiful person, what happens? What do you think happens as a woman?
For me, it went to brains.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it does. That's what happens. So I'm not the most beautiful, but I'm going to be the smartest.
Yes.
I'm going to be the most scholarly, right?
Yeah.
Because I got to prove that I'm worthy.
Exactly. When I walk in that room, if I get in that door, I got to stay in that room.
Yeah. Kind of thing. So actually, on the flip side of it, once we, become aware again and find out about brands like LAMIK, and because there's other brands too, and that fuel us in our beauty. Once we find out about that, then we can have both parts. We can be, and that's the reason why women of color opening up 8 out of 10 new businesses. It's her time, and so, there are so many barriers that's trying to hold her down, but she's steady plowing. And so even with the beauty, and that translates into confidence, she's plowed through that because she's had to go through that and experience that. And so now she's beautiful and she got the brains and she's smart.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Awesome. I love it too.
As far as reinventing myself and even the company, we actually become a startup. In the startup world, we actually just listed as one of the top startups to watch in Austin.
Okay.
For 2019 by Silicon Hills News. And so when that news came out, I was like, again, being in an uncomfortable kind of moving to for that to come out. And Austin, in Inc. magazine, they're talking about Austin is the number 1 place for tech. So for us to be listed in the number 1 city for tech as our startup to watch for 2019, the transformation is real, right?
Yeah.
And so for us to have that, it was just like, man, wow. It's different. It feels feels uncomfortable. And that's the reason why for me, the makeup does the same thing for me. I have to pump myself up sometimes because I'm going out into doing stuff that I don't have any experience in sometimes, that can shake your confidence.
Yep.
But if you're sure of who you are, you know that I have a belief that in my faith that things are coming to me that need to come to me, you know, and since this is a calling, I think a lot of times you have more confidence when you know what you're doing is a calling.
Yeah.
And so since it is a calling, I either go back to something somebody told me or somebody sent me a right text at the right time. And I'm like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know.
Yeah.
And kind of, you know, still go on and be able to go through those days because you're going to have them.
Yeah. Because reinventing yourself is uncomfortable, going back to that, even though you know it's something you need to do. And sometimes you're not even conscious of it. It's starting to evolve and happen. And then you realize, wait, I'm different.
Level up is a buzzword right now, but it's time to scale up. If you look at statistics around women getting VC money and women getting access to capital to fund these businesses and their network and mentoring and coaching, when you look at this, it is a real issue. And then for women of color, it's an even greater issue. Yeah. But it's no issue with us. You know, the issue is out there.
Yes.
The issue is not in here.
Yep. That is so true.
You know, so you got the same, I mean, not same, you got sometimes even more brilliant of a mind in regards to things. And so the same way that I knew we needed safer makeup, the same way I feel like we need safer makeup around the world. And I got to go hard about it or not do it at all kind of thing. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it was my calling. So, you know, however long that lasts or whatever, it's fine. But I got to go do this and I got to scale it up. I know that I can do it on a certain level. Now it's time for me to try to do it on that next level that I know is possible.
Yes, exactly. You've already done it on one level. You've done that. Yeah. And it's time now. And especially because it's a calling, there's another audience or a broader audience that you have to reach in order to fulfill your calling. Yeah. And my mentor is on last week and she talks about this idea that women are not getting the VC money. Like the money that VCs are giving out is small anyway. If you look at the percentage of companies, it seems like VC money is just flying all over the place. But when it does go out, those companies, very small percentages are women. And not only
2.2%.
Yes. And sometimes lower, just depending on where you are. So both of us have companies that have rolled into the tech space. Like Presidential Lifestyle didn't start out as a tech company. LAMIK didn't start out as a tech company, but rolled into, reinvented ourselves as tech companies. So for us, even more difficult to get access to funds. That can really chip away at your confidence because it's like, talk about competition. You talked about competition earlier. Sometimes getting this VC money is a competition because there's some other company that's trying to get their money too, and you've got to compete. So chip away, all these different ways of chipping away at your confidence to hold on to that confidence. What have you been doing to hold on to your confidence, especially during this big growth spurt? Yeah. This big growth spurt can be some scary stuff.
Yeah. Reminding myself that I'm in a learning scene. You know, I'm in a learning. I'm studying right now. Studying, learning. Yep. You have to remind yourself of that.
I've been doing a lot of research. Yeah. And it's tough because research is not income driven. For my idea of success has to do with a dollar amount and a certain amount of clients and revenue and, you know, those numbers. But research and development is so important to growing and scaling a business. Yeah. So really mindset is like knowing where I am. Right now I'm in a research and development and maybe streamlining this business or whatever you need to do, changing the process of this business. And that doesn't mean more growth revenue wise. Right. That means
it doesn't have to shake your confidence because you're refocusing some things. So like you said, reminding yourself that where you are so you don't go on social media and see what other people are doing. Yes. And
so turn away.
We all do this, you know, like go on social media, just going after to go, you know, post something. The next thing you know, you're in a rabbit hole looking at other folks and what they're doing and how well they're doing it and what's working for them and, you know, all that. And then you went from a very confident person to now a very depressed person that don't even want to do what you said you was going to do that evening. I don't want to go, you know, it's like, everybody doing better than me. I'm just, you know, so, you know, it's like you have to do certain things. And so for my confidence, you know, for me, I had to learn too that I had to appreciate other people and what they're doing. They're in a different scene. You know, this is in a different scene. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah, you can't get too caught up there and how I kind of kind of balance that confidence for me is kind of like realizing that when I was, going through this season, I've got to make sure that I know that was a learning time. That was a studying time. That was a research time. That was a development time, personal development, business development time that needed to happen to scale up. Because remember, we're ramping up, and then also at the same time digging deep, which is something that your tree, might have roots for, a tree that maybe doesn't last that long. You know?
And that's a good point, because you talked about staying off of social media when you're in your growth spurt, because one of the things I think people tend to do is go on social media more. Like, okay, I'm growing.
Because they're looking for something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, searching. But that's not where you search. That's not where you do the research.
That's not a good place to search when you're already vulnerable.
Yes. What ends up happening is that you start comparing yourselves to others.
Sometimes we're always trying to identify what another person has or thinking. And we say, oh, yeah, me too. Da, da, da. And start to kind of get out of that. Like, it's okay to like be different. It's okay to think different.
Yeah.
It's okay to not like this, but they like it. I'm starting to get out of that, because I think that is translating over to, that's the reason why social media is like that. That's the reason why when we look at stuff, we immediately think about what's going on out in life.
Yeah.
Why are we even thinking that? Why don't I just be inspired by that? Or why don't I just be like, yes, she did okay, good, or learn from them. Some people are keeping it very real about lessons they've learned, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe I can just keep, learn from them, whatever that is. But why we look at it like that? Why do we? And I'm asking myself my own question. Why do we go into comparison? Because it shakes our confidence,
right,
very easily, and so and destroys our confidence sometimes.
So we talked about a lot here. So I want to give them some bullet points that they can walk away with.
Okay.
So let's talk about what they can start, stop, and continue doing. Overall, I think what we've said so far, that stop is comparison. We definitely have to stop comparing ourselves. And then stop standing still. So that means start moving. Like you can move forward. You can reinvent yourself and stop judging women, but also men. Stop comparing yourselves to others, because men do this as well. Your relationship with other people's relationship, your money with other people's money.
Let's stop the comparison.
Yeah.
Right?
And then start. What would you say we can start doing? I know you said appreciating others. Like you see them, be inspired, but let them fuel you. Like, oh, okay.
Since we say stop comparing, we can say start. When you look at social media and stuff like that, so it doesn't shake your confidence, look at the people that you follow and then put them inside of some buckets in your head. So either they're inspiring me, so they inspire me with what they're doing in good spirit. It's putting me in a good spirit. That's part of inspiring. Okay.
Yeah.
But they're putting you in a bad spirit, then you might need to stop following them, because it's not putting you in the right place.
Yeah.
Even if you can't manage that, you need to probably just let that go. Right. So you put them in a bucket inspiring you. Maybe you're learning from them, whether it be things you shouldn't do or should do. Something that, inspire, learn, because I think that most of the time what we see online, we're either learning from or inspired by, know.
Exactly.
So I think you start doing that, and then take the
and then if it's not, and if it's not happening, you're not inspired or learning, then delete, because that is one of the tactics that I have my patients do, is clean up your social media.
Yeah.
Too much bling bling. Like, I love a nice car. I love a nice house. Like, I think those things are awesome. I'm all about wealth. But when it looks like that's the mask that you're wearing, the makeup that you're wearing is your car, then I'm like, nope, let me get you out of this feed, because you sending out energy that, because you're not feeding me. Yeah. So you don't need to be in this feed.
Your feed is feeding you.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
So continue. I think as women, what we do a really good job at is pleasing others. We need to balance out pleasing ourselves with pleasing others. So do a good job at loving. Stop there. Stay at love. I think we love women. We love. It's in our girlfriends, we love our men. We just love. So I think we can continue doing that well.
I almost want to say, continue to answer the calling that you have, because continue to serve your calling.
Right.
And let everything else, let the chips, I just like let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
Yeah. All things work together for good. I just think that we just sort of need to actually get our control off of it. so we can sort of, especially as women, kind of relax, bring your blood pressure down and just kind of let this thing, flow some. And so then you can continue to live a healthy, prosperous life.
Yeah. And that actually makes me remember what you said earlier. So I'm going to add this stop thinking so much. Right. So, well, I think you should let the people know where they can get LAMIK products, where they can follow up with you, what's happening. We got a relaunch happening.
Yes. So relaunch is happening right now. This month of March is amazing. We want you ladies to our Instagram page, to our Facebook page. Is at LAMIK Beauty, LAMIK Beauty. Stands for Love and Makeup and Kindness. So it's an acronym. So you just remember that. Follow us there. Even send us a message. Tell us that you heard us on here. I might have something really, really special for you. So message us. Tell us if you DM us on Facebook or Instagram. Tell us you heard Kanae's show and me on here, the founder of LAMIK Beauty, Kim Roxie. And we're going to have something special for you. So make sure you do that. Make sure you do that.
Check in with Kim Roxie. We're going to put this in the show notes so you can find it on Facebook, find it on Instagram, and go to the show notes and we'll let you know how to connect with Kim Roxie and LAMIK, Love and Makeup and Kindness.
Yes.
So stay tuned for our 5-minute activation. That is our show for today. Thank you, Kim Roxie, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's time for 5-minute activation, a quick financial therapy session to get you activated and on your way to increasing the love and money in your marriage. So can I get 5 minutes of your time? Just 5 minutes for a financial therapy activation. On today's 5-minute activation, let's talk about inner strength. Now, I want to start by saying inner strength is inside of all of us. We all have strength. Now, whether we're using it or not, that's different. Deep down inside your gut is where your power lies. Your strength is in your gut. Your intuition is in your gut. This is why you sometimes say, I knew I should have done this or that. That's powerful. But you've got to listen to that strength. Give it credit. Trust yourself. Deep down inside your gut, that is where your power lies. And that power can get you through the most difficult situations. Now, let's be clear. Inner strength has nothing to do with physical strength. You don't have to be muscular and big to have inner strength. Those don't go together at all. No matter how you look on the outside, you can be the biggest, strongest person on the inside. And you probably are. You just don't know it yet. Or maybe you do, and you're proud of it, as you should be. Inner strength lies in our gut, where we have to make tough decisions, where we have to push forward through something that may not be comfortable. Have you ever been under pressure and showed up in a way that you just surprised yourself? That was your inner strength. You showed up when you knew you needed to. You tapped into your inner strength. Have you ever heard of stories where a car might have fallen on a child and a mother picked the car up off the child? That wasn't her physical strength. That was her inner strength. She knew deep down inside that she could save her child. And she reached down deep inside for everything she had inside of her. And she brought it out. And that adrenaline pushed her to lift something that she would never have been able to lift with her own physical strength. Let me ask you a question. Where in your life are you not using your inner strength? Where are you ignoring your inner strength? Denying your inner strength? Are you doing that? Think about how you could tap into that strength. What would it take for you to be completely aware and utilize your inner strength? You don't have to wait for a catastrophic event. You don't have to wait till you're up against the wall under complete pressure. You can use your inner strength every day. You can use it at work. You can use it in your relationships. You can use it on yourself. Because sometimes you have that voice inside. It's probably the voice in your head trying to work against the voice in your gut, that intuition that you know is right. That voice in your head is sometimes really strong, but don't let it win. Use your inner strength, your gut power to push past any seeming difficulty. Now, some tasks are very difficult and they're almost impossible to win. That doesn't mean you have to quit, because sometimes if you push through and use your inner strength, somebody else will step up and push you even further. All you gotta do is get started. Use your inner strength to get started and watch how the universe will bend in your favor. Everything you need, you have inside of you already. Give some thought today. Ask yourself, what would it take for me to use my inner strength? Give some thought today to what you need to just let it out. Be strong, my Prosperos. And that's our 5-minute activation for today. Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you want more love and money conversations, subscribe to this podcast. Also, tell your friends about us. I'll see you next episode. But in the meantime, head on over to KeneCorder.com for more tips, tools, and resources. And go ahead and leave us a comment if you like. We'd love to hear from you. This show is not to replace professional counsel. The best advice comes from a professional you know. The topics discussed in this podcast are general in nature and are for entertainment and informational purposes only. We encourage you to meet with a professional to discuss your specific situation, whether financial or therapeutic. That's all for now. I'll see you sooner. Remember, no matter what anybody ever tells you, you can have wealth in all of its forms. Believe it, and you will soon see it.